And good morning. Come to the center of your mat in a Sukhasana pose or crisscross applesauce, whatever feels best for you in your body at the moment. Allow your eyes to close or allow your eye gaze to settle down, become a little bit softer and less attached to whatever you're looking at. And then first give yourself just a little bit of organic movement, sway from side to side. Maybe shrugging your shoulders back if that feels right. You might even feel the need to curl in, expand out, kind of like a prototype to cow and cat, maybe. And as you shift from side to side, notice that helps you find your center a little bit better. So by looking towards something that takes you off balance, helps you remember where your center is. Settle into that space. Allow your breath to become larger. Exhale is more full. And if it does help you to connect, maybe place one hand on your belly. You could place one hand on your heart. This is totally up to you. If this feels just a little bit too unsettled, you can keep your hands on your thighs or somewhere else where you feel more grounded. Notice how your breath does affect other parts of your body, all interconnected. Your forehead, perhaps your cheeks, the back of your neck. Maybe even your toes. Maybe you're someone who clenches your toes or flares them out. Maybe find just a little bit more balance, providing you with a straight seat. And I invite you to set a dedication or intention for this practice. The thing that I've been sharing with you guys in my teaching over the past week or two has been about compassion. So this might be your internal compassion toward yourself, or sharing it out with others, seeking to understand, to accept. Let's take a couple breaths as community to seal these dedications with each set. Inhale. Hold the top for just a moment. Exhale, let go. Again, once more like that. Release. And then once for yourself. Bring your palms to your heart center. Drop your head to your chest, giving yourself honor of this dedication. Release hands down to your lap. Lift up your head and blink your eyes open if they're not open, already open. We're going to start with just a couple twists. So inhale, reach your arms out and up. Send your gaze up towards your thumb. Shoulder blades are down. Exhale, twist to left. Right hand to your left thigh. Left hand can either press into the mat behind you or flex to the small of your back. Left shoulder moves back. Send your chins over towards your left shoulder. Find a little bit more length as you inhale. Deepen the twist as you exhale. And just notice how things are affecting you. As you do that, what's happening to your right knee, what's happening to your left waist area, what's happening to your jaw. On an inhale, take your gaze back to center, arms lift, chin up. Exhale, twist to the opposite side. Again, right fingertips either behind you to give you a little bit more lift, or you can take your palm to the small of your back. Right shoulder draws back, left shoulder draws back. Low belly pulls in to give you just a little bit more strength. Again, notice what's happening with the left side of your body as you twist to the right. Gaze back to center, arms lift, send your chin upward. Exhale, bring your hands back down to heart center, and then take your hands to your thighs. Bring your right arm out to the side. We're going to simply lean over to the right. Left arm comes up and over. So left elbow tends to come forward. Just guide it back, low belly in. And then on an exhale, you're going to pull your arm. So you're bringing your left elbow towards your left ribs, towards your waist. Inhale, extend out, maybe lean in a little more deeply. Exhale, draw in, maybe lifting up so you can compress left side of your body. One more time like that. Inhale, reach out, maybe a little bit further. And then exhale, draw in. Pivot all the way to the other side. So left hand comes down to the mat. It's up to you how deep the bend of your left elbow is. Inhale, reach your right arm up and over. Stay here for just a couple breaths, just getting a little bit comfortable. Again, if you need to like sway a little bit front and back, playing with the angle of your right elbow. And then we're going to take that pulling motion again on an exhale. Start to bring your right elbow towards your right waist. Inhale, lean over to the left again, extend out. Exhale, draw in. 2 more times like this. All right, and then pressure yourself right back up to seated. Come onto your back. Recline all the way with your knees bent, arms alongside your body. pull your right knee in towards your chest. Take your hands to the back of your right thigh. You can extend your left leg out if that feels okay in your left hip flexor. If it's a little early still, keep your knee bent. Pull your right thigh in towards you, flex your right foot, and then maybe start to extend your heel upward, slowly extending out, and then drawing the heel back down towards your bum. So with your hands clasped around your right thigh, you might notice there's a place that starts to come a little bit sticky. Just see if you can smooth out those motions just a little bit, noticing you might feel the muscles on the back of your leg get tighter and get looser as you change the direction. And then release the right foot down, pull your left knee in, interlace your fingers back of thigh, opposite way if you can remember what was on the first one. And again, maybe right knee stays up or extend out. If you do extend it out, you might want to flex your foot so that you can have a little bit more stability. And again, with your left leg, just start to peel your heel up toward the ceiling, a little flexion to your toes here. And again, just noticing what it feels like. You might feel it in different parts of your body. All right, and then extend your left leg out. So we're going to come to that banana asana shape that we often do. Reach your arms above your head, legs out in front of you. Good morning stretch. Pandiculation, word of the day. All right, you're going to walk your legs over to the right. We're going to do something a little bit differently. Pull your left knee towards your left armpits without using your hands. And then on an exhale, start to bring your heel more towards the center, midline, extend out. Inhale, pull your knee towards your left hip without using your arms. Exhale, take your left foot more alongside your right leg. Pull your left knee towards your left armpit, getting really, really long here. Then on an exhale, cross your left ankle over your right ankle. Then arc your arms and your torso over to the right. You can take your right fingertips to your left wrist and take a deeper stretch to the left side of your body. Might feel a little bit similar to the stretches that we did earlier in class. All right, unhook the left leg, release the left wrist, and then start to walk your left leg towards the left corner of your yoga mat. Pull your right knee in towards your right armpit, again, without using your hands. On an exhale, extend your leg out in front of you towards your midline. Inhale, pull your knee towards your right armpit. On an exhale, bring your leg a little bit closer to the left leg as you extend. Inhale, pull your knee towards your right armpit again, feeling your femur move around in the socket a bit. And then on an exhale, you're going to cross right ankle over left ankle. If that angle's too much, just drop your leg onto the mat where it feels right. And then arc your torso and arms over to the left, a little bit of a pull to your right wrist. Continue to drop your shoulders down toward the mat. So you might feel this in some different places. In my body, because my shoulders tend to take a lot of my stress, I feel it actually in the tops of my shoulders. I'm not sure if that's typical or not. All right, unhook your legs. Get back to that straight line, reaching your toes out, reaching your arms behind you. Your low back might come up. And then on an exhale, you're going to pull your knees in towards you. Keep your arms up above your head if you'd like. This is going to be a little bit more tense. If you want a little bit more support, take hands to the backs of thighs or arms alongside you so your palms are closer to your hips. So on an inhale, you're going to extend your right leg up toward the ceiling as you extend your left leg out to hover. Exhale, draw both knees in, shins parallel to the ceiling. Inhale, right leg up, left leg out and hover. Exhale, pull in, knees alongside each other up to the ceiling. Inhale, come out. Exhale, draw in. One more time like that. Right leg comes up, left leg comes out to hover. Exhale, pull in. We're going to change it out. Left leg goes up toward the ceiling. Flex your toes, reach your right leg out. Legs don't have to become straight. They just are extended knees. Exhale, draw in. Shins parallel. Inhale, left leg out. Right leg extends. Exhale, pull in. Two more times like this. Notice what's happening to your arms, to your jaw, to your forehead, as well as the things that are happening in your legs and your core. That might be obvious. All right, pull both knees in towards your chest. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs. Rock up and down the length of your spine. We're going to make our way to a forward fold. So you can do this with this momentum or simply roll over to one side and make your way there. Forward fold, first one of this class. Release your chest towards your thighs. We're going to take 3 halfway lifts. Inhale, wave your heart out, fingertips towards the mat or your shins. Look out. Exhale, chest to thighs, really strong forward fold. Again, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, draw in. Third time like that. Inhale, lift out. Exhale, pull in. Root to rise, reach your arms out and up, press through your feet to give yourself stability. Send your chin upward, and on an exhale, take your hands to your heart center. Arms alongside your body, Tadasana, shrug your shoulders back, press down through the soles of your feet. Soften to the back of your neck. Grow taller. On an inhale, bring your palms up, send your chin up. Exhale, hinge forward, forward fold, release all the way down. Breath in, halfway lift, look out. Exhale, fold, step back to the top of a plank pose. And then lower to or towards your mat through chaturanga. Untuck your toes for the back bend of your choice, yogis. And on an exhale, take it back to downward facing dog. So first downward facing dog of this class. It is the first one of my day, maybe yours as well. So perhaps give yourself a little bit of movement through your toes and your ankles, by your bum a bit, shift your hips, and then settle back in again. Bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and on an exhale, step or hop all the way to the top, forward fold, breath in, halfway lift, offer your heart out. Grow long, keep the length on an exhale, hinge forward. Come all the way to standing. Arms lift, chin turns up. Exhale, hands to your heart center. And then arms alongside your body. You're gonna flow back to down dog, breath in, lift up, get tall. Exhale, forward fold, take it all the way down. Inhale, halfway lift, offer out. Exhale, fold, step back to top of plank pose. Option to take a vinyasa if you'd like it, or simply press back to downward facing dog. What is going to be the most compassionate choice for your practice today? Take a very deep breath in and a very full exhale. On your next breath in, lift your right leg up towards the ceiling. Then bend your knee, open up through your hips. And then you're going to start to bring your knee down towards your armpit, towards your midline, brush your left thigh along your left, point up towards the ceiling, and then one more rotation in that direction. And then twice in the opposite direction. So you start bringing your knee towards your chest, out towards your armpit, all the way around. And then once more. And then when you're ready on an exhale, you're going to place your foot between your hands towards your right thumb. Press through both feet, arms lift up, high crescent lunge. So bend both knees, get low. Exhale, begin to straighten both legs or extend, lift up. Start to bend once again, both knees get low. You start to drop your knee. Lift up once again, legs become straighter. One more time, bending both, dropping low, lifting up. And then return back to that high lunge pose. Notice if maybe you need to wiggle your left foot back just a little bit more after we've taken that movement. On an exhale, swing your arms back, lean forward, keep your right hip pulling back. So you're taking the action like your right belly is hovering over your right thigh. That might physically happen or not. Regardless, you're just not resting down. Inhale, lift back up to the high lunge. Exhale, swim your heart forward, arms back. Inhale, come up. Exhale, draw back. And from here, we move to a warrior three pose. So you might want to hop your left foot in just a little bit or bend both your knees just a bit. On an exhale, launch forward. You can always take your hands down to support yourself. Regardless, you've got activity through your left leg, low belly in, shoulder blades are back. And then take a deep bend through your right knee. Stand your left leg all the way back, arms lift, high lunge once again. Exhale, place your hands down to the mat. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Option for a vinyasa, option to hover the right leg through the chaturanga. Make sure that tops of both feet are down for your back bend. Once you're in your downward facing dog, give yourself a very cleansing inhale and exhale. Next breath in, left leg comes up and back. Start to bring your, bend your knee, open up to your hips. Take your left knee towards your left armpit and towards your rib cage. Glide along your right thigh, point up toward the ceiling. One more rotation like that. And then take two rotations the opposite direction, starting to bring your knee first towards your belly and your armpit and around. And then on an exhale, place your foot between your hands towards your left thumb. Generally getting your ankle underneath your knee. Have your hands away from the mat, give yourself that strength, lift up. All right, just as we did on the other side, bend both knees, your hips will start to drop. Then start to extend both knees, lift up, bend again, get low, start to extend up. One more time, bend, get low, arms are selective, extend both knees, straighter legs. Then rebend into the front knee for that high lunge. Maybe wiggle the right leg back. See if you've just discovered a little bit more space. All right, and then we're gonna start to hinge forward. Exhale, swim your arms back, palms down, lean forward. Inhale, come up. Exhale, swoop your arms back again. Open through your chest, like cobra. Inhale, come up. Third time like that, swoop it back. And again, we're gonna move to a warrior three pose. Left hip comes back. You're still scissoring your thighs together. Maybe pop the right foot forward or just lean forward best you can. And then your right leg will eventually start to lift up, or maybe you'll just lessen the weight of your toes on the mat. Shoulders back. Activity through the back foot. Long through the left thigh. So consider that shape that we were doing on our back earlier. We're just doing that now in a different orientation. All right, take a deeper bend to your left knee. Reach your right leg all the way back. Come back to your high crescent lunge, arms lift. And then when you're ready, on an exhale, hands tap down. Left foot steps back. Option for vinyasa. Option to hover the left leg through your chaturanga. Move as you're ready. Deep breath in and a full breath out. All right, we're going to continue to move through this, this series. But before we do, we're going to start to take a different version. Start to take your knees down to the mat. So this is going to work our way up into another one of our poses, into an extended side angle. But to get there first, come down to your knees towards the center, and you might want to face your long side of your mat just so you've got a little bit more distance on a soft surface, unless you're already on a carpet or something that doesn't cause pain to your knees. So set yourself up a bit like you're going to be moving towards a virasana pose. So you're standing on your knees, but your feet are a little bit wider than your hips. Start first with your hands on your hips. I'm not going to mirror you guys because that always will trip me up. You're going to pivot onto your left knee to bring your right knee up so your toes are faced out. Okay, so starting to feel some of that, that external rotation in the right thigh. Take your right knee down, pivot over to the left. Start to just play with this movement just a bit from side to side. Adjust your stance if you need. What are your body's mechanics like? And if you're noticing things like, oh, there's something going on with the inside of my foot, this does not feel right. Maybe when you come down, instead of having top of your foot down, you have your toes tucked. So start to become a little bit more familiar. And then similar to what we were doing towards the beginning of class as we were seated, you're going to start to take one of those side angle movements. So I'm going to start with my right knee up, my right forearm to my right thigh, and I'm going to swing my right arm up toward the ceiling and around so my left bicep is over my left ear. I'm going to swing down, right knee comes down, coming over to the left side, left forearm to the thigh, swing my right arm around. And start to move between these two sides. Again, noticing as you move on one side, how it affects the other. For example, as you're pulling your left arm around and lifting out and up, what's happening to the right side of your waist? Okay, even out, do once more on either side. Variation of extended side angle. Then come back down to your hands and your knees. Make your way up to a downward facing dog if you'd like to take another vinyasa, or if you cow and cat. Please know that you have that freedom to do whatever you need in your body to prepare yourself for the next pose. Once you're in your downward facing dog, clear out your breath. And then on an inhale, lift your right leg up. On an exhale, place your foot between your hands toward the right thumb. Come all the way up to your high crescent lunge, arms lift up, bend both knees, get low. Inhale, start to extend both knees, legs get straighter. Exhale, bend in, stand up. One more time like that. And then keeping the left leg extended, bend into your right knee, high lunge. Wiggle the left leg back if you need. Exhale, swing your arms back, hinge forward. Inhale, find length. Twice more like that. Employing your Ujjayi breath as it helps you to focus on your intention if this is in your practice. Gaze forward, come to your warrior three pose. Again, mimicking the same shapes that we've already done on our backs. Just breathe. And then take a deep bend to your right knee, stand all the way back to the high crescent lunge once again. As you're ready, open up, warrior two. First time on this side, yes. Shrug your shoulders back. Do all the things that you know that you need to do to find your warrior two pose. And then we're going to take a different expression of that extended side angle. So forward, right forearm to the right thigh. And as we were just doing, left arm sweeps around. Sweep your arm, left arm back to where it was, reaching down towards your left toes. Sweep around again. Wrap it all the way down. Sweep it back, keeping your right rib cage angled up. Stay here for several breaths. And then on an exhale, make it back to warrior two, looking beyond your right middle finger. On an exhale, cartwheel all the way down. Low lunge, right foot is forward. Step your right foot back. Option for vinyasa, option to hover the right leg. Make your way back to downward facing dog as you're ready. Take a moment to recognize what's happening in the right side of your body. Your left, the front, the back, the shape of your breath. And then in time, as your breath instructs you, left leg goes up. Exhale, left leg comes between, or left foot rather, comes between your hands. Come all the way up, lift up, high lunge. Bend through both knees, drop your right knee down. Start to straighten both legs, extend. Get low, bending both knees, extending both. Once more like that. And then keeping the right leg more extended, bend into your left thigh, wiggle the right leg back as you need, 3 times. Swim your heart forward, arms sweep back. All right, and then as your arms are back, lean forward, warrior three, transition forward, long through the left thigh, low belly in, starting to reach your right inner ankle toward the ceiling, so you can start to move things in towards your midline. Calm the breath. Nothing to see here. And then a deep bend to your left knee, stand your right foot all the way back to your high crescent lunge. On an exhale, warrior two. Open up towards the long side of your mat. Sit low. All right, then we'll take that side angle pose again. Reach forward with your left fingertips, left forearm onto your left thigh. Make sure that your right hand is active. Sweep your right arm around in front of you until your bicep is more or less over your right cheek. Exhale, sweep it all the way back. Take it up. Keep your left rib cage rotating up. Continue with this sweeping motion. Still finding that activity and strength in the lower part of your body through your torso. Give yourself one more of these rotations and then make your way back to a warrior two as you're ready. On an exhale, cartwheel all the way down. Low lunge, step your left foot back to meet your right. Option for vinyasa, option to hover the leg through your chaturanga. Downward facing dog, deep breath in. Full breath out. Take your knees to your mat, toes to touch, hips to heels, or if you prefer to sit on your knees. Take a few moments to recognize the changes that are happening in your body, the quality of your breath, temperature of your skin, attachment to outcome, your dedication, the compassion that you're creating, the compassion that you're offering. You have the next 5 breaths to use as you would like before we meet back in downward facing dog. You could choose to work on another posture, take some more stretches, maybe explore some of the shapes that you've been doing already, or simply sit, rest, and meditate. The first of your 5 breaths begins now. About now, you might be coming upon that 5th breath. If you're in the middle of something, take your time. And we'll make our way back to downward facing dog. Again, maybe pedal it out. Find some movement here. Wag your tail. And then come back into stillness. On an inhale, extend your right leg up towards the ceiling. On an exhale, take your knee to your right tricep. Shift it forward. Keep your heel up towards your inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, second time, take your knee towards your right tricep. Inhale, take it up and back. Exhale, take your knee to right tricep. Drop down towards your wrist. Lift up towards your tricep. Extend up to that 3-legged dog. And then this time, place your foot between your hands toward the right thumb. Rise up. High lunge. One time, bend both knees, get low. Exhale, start to straighten both legs. Rebend into the right knee, high lunge. Sweep your arms back, lean forward, launch forward, warrior 3. Check your balance. 3 breaths here. Soften to the jaw. From here, we're going to very carefully move into an ardha chandrasana. So be sure to bend your right knee if it's straighter. Right hand comes down toward the mat, maybe to touch, and then start to pivot your left hip open just a bit, turning your left toes towards alongside your mat. If you'd like, left fingertips up toward the ceiling. And I know we've been playing with this also in the last several classes, starting to remove weight of your right fingertips away from the mat. So again, it might not mean that you get space between them, but you're lessening the resistance little by little. Very small changes. All right, take a deep bend through the right knee still here, and then land all the way back to your warrior 2, sit low. Adjust as you need. And then extended side angle, reach your right arm forward, right forearm to the right thigh. Perhaps you'd even like to take your hand all the way down to the mat. Sweep your left arm all the way up for the extended version. Bicep closer towards the side of your cheek. Exhale, swing it back. 2 more times like that. Keep your left shoulder reaching away from your left ear, even as your fingertips extend far beyond. And after that 3rd time, make your way back to the warrior 2, stacking your torso over your hips. On an exhale, cartwheel all the way down, hands land. Step your right foot back, vinyasa if you'd like, or not. Option to hover the right leg through the chaturanga, if this is going to help you in your practice today. Full breath in and exhale. Left leg comes up and back. Exhale, take your knee to your left tricep, maybe up towards your armpit. Inhale, extend up, 3-legged dog. Exhale, take your left knee in. Take it up toward the ceiling. Take your knee towards your left armpit, towards your tricep. Drop it down to your knee. Back all the way up. Strike your leg up. And then this time, place your foot between your hands toward the left thumb. Eyes up, high crescent lunge. Bend both knees one time, get low. Extend both knees, and then rebend into the left leg. So you come to your high lunge once again. One time, exhale, swing your arms back, swing your heart forward. Warrior 3, launch forward. Stabilizing through the left leg. A bend through your left knee is going to help you do this rather than extending immediately. Shrug your shoulders back, low belly in. You got this. And then, taking a little bend to your left knee, we're going to move to the half moon pose. Left hand comes down. You can always take your right hand to your right hip. Start to open out the right toes and the right thigh. Pointing your right hip out a little bit more. Ardha Chandrasana. With your left arm that's down, see if you can wrap your inner elbow so it's facing in the same direction as your head. Maybe have your fingertips away from the mat just a little bit. All right, and then carefully again, bending more deeply to the left knee. Stand all the way back, warrior 2. And as you're ready, extended side angle. Reach forward, left forearm to thigh, or perhaps take your hand to the mat, and then start to sweep your right arm all the way around, pinky down, taking it back. Still finding Tadasana even to this movement. Offer yourself one more sweep. And then on an exhale, back to your warrior two. Claim your posture. Find what's changed. Find what's the same, or even seemingly so. On an exhale, cartwheel all the way down, push into the ball of your back foot, low lunge. Make your way back to a downward facing dog through vinyasa, any way you like. Bend your knees really deeply in your downward facing dog. Cross your right ankle over your left thigh. So you're gonna have your left knee bent. Press your chest back towards your thighs. Little flexion through your right toes. Let your head be soft. Uncross, stand your right foot down. Bend your knees deeply again. Cross your left ankle over your right thigh. Your left knee draws back, your chest chasing your thighs. Uncross, stand down. Bend your knees, look towards the top of your mat, and then just hop to a seat in the center of your mat. Extend your legs out in front of you. I'm going to take a forward fold here. So take your hands to your bum and your thighs. Scooch the flesh out to the sides. Again, your legs don't have to be fully straight here. Flex your toes towards your face. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, hinge forward. Let your hands drop where they do. Maybe you need to adjust again. Inhale, lift out halfway. Reach your heart forward. Soften to the back of your neck. Extend through your neck. And then exhale, start to deepen your forward fold. Be nice to yourself. Part of your compassion is this part of your practice. What is the worth and the value of bringing your chest towards your thighs? Notice if you can feel the quality of your breath shift. Notice if there's not much of a shift. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then exhale, release, sit up. Take your hands behind you, about 8 to 10 inches. Actually, for this version, point your fingertips towards your hips so your wrists are facing the back short end of your mat. Bend your knees, place your feet into the mat. Your feet are about hips distance. We're going to take a reverse tabletop pose. So press through feet and hands, lift up, scooch your tailbone underneath you like it's reaching for your knees. First, take a look at your knees. Press through your hands even more, drawing your shoulder blades together. Then give yourself a double chin. Then send your chin up. Maybe a stop here. If this is feeling okay, maybe you go through your double chin and start to let the back part of your skull drift back. Continue to keep your core activated. Tailbone reaching towards the backs of your knees. Are your knees starting to splay out? If so, imagine there was a block between them, squeezing together. Just breathe. Extension through your elbows. And then if you took your head back, start to lift your chin up, give yourself that double chin again. Reach forward, start to drop your hips down toward the mat. Take your arms around your knees, drop your forehead down towards your knees. Get soft and release. Lift your head up, roll over your hands and knees, and make your way to a downward facing dog just for a moment here. If you need to take a vinyasa, please do what's best for you. On your next inhale, right leg comes up and back. On an exhale, take your knee to your right elbow, drop it down to your wrist, lift it back up to your elbow, down to your wrist, up to your elbow, down to your wrist, pigeon pose. Pivot your heel across your body, drop your left knee, walk it back. Start to take your hands alongside your body. Give yourself a little bit of support first. Flare through your back toes, flare through your front toes. Give yourself lots of foundation here. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale, swing your arms back, palms facing each other. This might force you to lean forward again. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bending at your elbows, extending arms back behind you. One more time like that. And then release your hands down. Come to your version of pigeon pose. This might be pretty well straight up, props underneath you. We're coming forward onto a block or onto your forearms. We're going to have a little bit of time here, so be sure to notice that as things change, you're also adjusting along with it. Notice if there's any clenching going on. Just soften through it. And this is just keeping your lower body generally in your pigeon pose. Start to lift up on your forearms as you take yourself down. And you're going to start to walk your torso a little bit more over to the left. So you might be a little bit more centered, maybe not exactly centered, over your right foot. And then start to extend your arms out again. Slightly different pigeon variation. Careful if you have any fire in your. Start to lift your way back up. Recenter your torso more towards the front. Press your palms into the mat, tuck your back toes, lift up your back knee. And then you're going to pull your right knee back up to your elbow and then strike your leg up toward the ceiling, tripod dog. Start to take movements that feel right. Trying to get some blood flow going, less compression. And if you'd like, you can always take a vinyasa between sides. Transition back to your downward facing dog so we can take the other side. And of course, if you don't have pigeon in your practice at the moment, you prefer to be on your back, take a similar variation like figure 4. Left leg comes up and back. On an exhale, take your knee to your left elbow. Draw down to your wrist, up to your elbow, down to your wrist, up to your elbow, down to your wrist, and then pivot your ankle across your body. Start to extend your right leg further out to your pigeon pose. And again, flare through your right toes, flare through your left toes, hands alongside your body, find yourself some foundation. And then if you'd like, inhale, arms up toward the ceiling. On an exhale, bend your elbows, swing back. You might find yourself leaning forward a bit, that's fine. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, swing it back. Inhale, lift up. Swing it back. And then come into your pigeon variation. Again, maybe setting up some props. Giving yourself permission and the freedom to move as you need to adjust. Going to move into our next variation, the pigeon pose. So start to lift yourself up and then pivot your torso and your belly more towards your left foot, which is toward the right side of your mat. And as you're ready, begin to extend out and find your expression, perhaps lowering down once again. Again, to lift yourself up and then pivot your torso more towards the center of your mat again. Push your hands into the mat, tuck your back toes, lift up your back knee, pull your left knee up towards your elbow, and then strike the left leg up to that three-legged dog. Take the movements that you need. Again, removing that compression. And then as you're ready, release your left foot down to the mat to your downward facing dog. If you'd like to take a vinyasa, that option is open to you. And then drop to your hands and your knees. Your toes can be tucked or untucked. Cow pose. Release your belly down towards the mat. Tip your hips up. Reach your heart forward. Send your gaze up. And then come into a cat. Press through your hands and knees. Draw your chin to your chest, arcing your spine. And then continue to move through these two poses. And if you'd like to move organically, shifting your hips from side to side, maybe moving your hips back and forward, start to explore these movements. And then after your next cat pose, you're going to send your hips back to your heels and just drop your hips to the side. Extend your legs out in front of you. Take your hands to the backs of your thighs with your knees bent, and then roll all the way down to your back. You might need to walk your heels a little bit closer in towards you. You're going to pick up your right foot and then place your foot kind of behind your left hip, behind your left heel. You might use your hand to help you out. If you find that this extension through the right side of your thigh is a bit too much, then simply ease out of it. You can place one hand on heart, one hand on belly, or if you're feeling a bit too warm, you might choose to take your arms a little bit wider out. Soften through your jaw and the back of your neck. And then if you'd like to explore this, with your left leg, start to drop your knee out to the left, so you might be coming more toward the razor edge of your left foot. Begin to bring your left knee back up towards the center if you took that drop. And then replace your right foot where it was so it's in line with the left with both knees bent on your back. Just take a couple breaths here to notice the feeling on the right side of the body compared to the left. And then let's do same but different. Pick up your left foot, place your foot relatively behind your right hip, in between your right hip and right foot, letting your knee drop out to the side. Stay here for several breaths. Feel free to change out your hand and arm placement. Might not be the same as the first side. And then if you like with your right leg, start to drop the right knee out to the side. You might be moving more toward the razor edge of the right foot. Notice if that changes things. What is that like? And did that transition move the sensation to another part of your body that might be slightly unexpected? Give yourself a body scan. Notice if that's happened, and it might be something that happens typically, and you might be ignoring it or thinking these things aren't interrelated. Consider that they are. If you took the right knee out variation, start to bring your foot back up. And then also place your left foot back into the mat in line with the right. Press through both feet, lift up your hips, slide your tailbone under just a little bit more. We're going to take a supta konasana pose, reclined by angle. Start to bring the soles of your feet together, and then take your knees out wide. Again, arm placement of your choice. You might take your hands to your thighs for a bit more weight, to your belly, one hand heart, one hand belly. And bring your arms out wide. Take another scan. Is this hand posture something that is serving you? Consider making a change. Notice the sensation of the air moving in through your nostrils. Maybe even being able to tell when it feels like it touches the back of your throat. And then the shift, exhaling as well. Notice if you've allowed your eyes to close or if they're open. One's not good or bad. What can that tell you about this posture? What can this tell you about your state of mind at the moment? And then taking your time, bring your hands to the backs of your thighs and let your hands help your knees up towards center. Gently draw your knees in towards your chest. Notice if it feels better, have your knees pointed straight back or more towards your armpits, and maybe take a little bit of a movement between the two. Maybe something else feels a little better. And then keep your right knee in, extend your left leg out, and take a supine twist, drawing your knee across your body. Maybe send your gaze out towards the right. Soften your eye gaze or even allow your eyes to close. Take your head back to center and your knee. Extend your right leg out. Draw your left knee in. Same but different. Supine twist to opposite direction. Take your head and knee back to center. And then come to the final posture of this class, which is savasana. If you'd like to take a different variation, like legs up wall, make the adjustments that you need. Make the adjustments to your clothing, to your environment. And allow yourself to come to a place of stillness, allowing your practice to synthesize, letting your being come to the forefront, allowing everything else to simply fade. Slowly deepen your breath, welcoming in sensations surrounding you, the temperature, the light through your closed eyelids, or maybe your eyes have begun to open. Invite some interaction with your environment by moving your extremities. Maybe taking that good morning stretch, maybe finding some space between your jaws, space between your ears, maybe feeling like a yawn. When you're ready, roll over onto one side. Pause for a moment or two. And then make your way to a seated posture for a brief reflection and meditation. On a breath in, reach your arms out and up, palms press above your head. And on an exhale, take your thumbs to the space between your eyebrows for clarity of thought, to your lips for clarity of speech, and to your heart for clarity of action. Bow your head to your heart, recognizing compassion for yourself, that for others, the practice that you have on your mat with yourself, with each other, that you will share off the mat with those who might not even realize what is happening. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me, and thank you for helping me deepen my own personal practice. I look forward to seeing you out in the world as we practice together. In the name of the highest good, namaste.